Welcome to the show. I am your host, Rob Christie, and this is Becoming Me. I'm so happy you could make it. Means the world to me. So why don't you kick back, take a listen, stay a while. Not rapping about the pistol packing, all the lies about the paper stacking, lots of people acting. I rap about death of life, sleeping in my car on lonely nights, looking for the light, being counted out. You'll never make it back. Whipping up to cocaine, next to try to crack. Not doing that, nope, not doing that. Let me say it again, I'm not turning back. No, 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 I'm not turning back. No, 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 no.
Can you imagine leading a group of people who are way smarter than you are? It can be rather intimidating. The first brush I had with this was in high school when we came up with the Young Readers Club. It was an idea in which we wanted to popularize the books of the Laurel Library. They call it the Laurel Library because it was under the Libraries of Love, which was mainly constituted of the books that were donated by one Miss Trudy Marshall and a group of people who believed that they wanted to eliminate illiteracy in Africa. So they decided to give us books that are so much outside the normal curriculum. They had books on zoology, on religion. They had the fiction books where there were the detective, the mystery, so many types of books, and it was so amazing that when I would enter that library, I would literally get lost in a world that I thought many people ought to also have a taste of. Kind of like the metaverse. I actually think I thought of the I lived in the metaverse long before Zuckerberg and his team came together to make it as real as they are anticipating too. But now the tricky part came when we formed a club, and at one point I was voted the vice chairperson and later on the chairperson. Sounds fancy, doesn't it? But guess what? The people I was leading were people who could read Harry Potter books in 2 hours, people who had spent their primary schools reading Rick Riordan books, reading all the thickest books that you can think of. So at a certain point I was challenged. How am I going to rival these people? Yet all the only books I read are probably those on zoology that basically, they were kind of like my Nat Geo Wild at school. But then I decided if I'm going to earn their respect, I ought to give them some respect by reading their books as well. So I delved into the biographies like those of Abraham Lincoln, Marie Curie, and Mao Zedong. I also went into the detective books of the Hardy Boys. It was actually very, very fascinating. And then I landed on my favorite book series, which was Maximum Ride to this day. I am yet to read the last book, Maximum Ride. Actually, I read Nevermore. I think Forever is the last one, which I'm about to read. And I found that this world that these people were in was so amazing. I actually think I should make a video on Maximum Ride. Comment down below if you'd like to hear about that book. But yes, once I started reading the kind of books that my colleagues were reading, I started seeing that, wow, they were so exposed to a lot of things. And also, yes, I could now keep up a conversation with some of the people in the Laurel Library, we called it the Young Readers Club. So a few steps along the way, I actually realized part of the reason why I was chosen to be a leader, because much as these people were, yes, so much smarter, some of them had a few faulty ethics that we needed to work together to resolve. Yes, there were incidents of some of the people who were in the club who had the benefits of taking books and not returning, and we had to liaise with them and sort of get them back into line. Then we also did have there were times when they had to leave the library in charge of somebody. For us, we just had few pockets of time to be in the Laurel Library because the rest of the time was either class time, probably weekends, and then you need to do, let's say, general cleanup of the house. And we knew that the Laurel Library was heavily sidelined because of the rise of private schools forces the public schools to now actually focus so much on higher grades and getting people to read more of those books and less of these books that stretch their imagination. So along the way, I learned a lot in the journey of leading people who are way smarter than me, and much as there's that euphoria of wanting to be the smartest person in the room, wanting to be the biggest person in the room. When you get that little bit of humility after being the not so smartest person in the room, and you start working with others who are smarter, you feel yourself growing. So that was my experience, leading people who are way smarter than me. I don't know if you've had the same, but we can talk here on starting out.